Hi, and welcome back. Today we're going to be reading a Halloween book, and it's a character that you may know. We are going to read about Curious George. Curious George is going to go to a costume party. So if you've read some Curious Georges or you don't know Curious George, I do have some other videos of Curious George and will continue to do more videos of Curious George. But let's find out what happens when he goes to the costume party. And this is illustrated by Margret and H.A. Reys. This is also written by Martha Weston. Let's check out what happens. This is George. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. One day, George and his friend, the man with the yellow hat, were on their way to a party at Miss Gray's house. George could not wait. He liked parties and he was looking forward to seeing Miss Gray. But when the door opened, George did not see Miss Gray at all. He saw a witch. "Don't be afraid, George," said the man with the yellow hat. "This witch is our friend." The witch took off her mask. It was Mrs. Gray after all. "Oh dear," she said. "Did I forget to tell you? This was a costume party? Oh, she's dressed like a witch. Just like me. I am dressed like a witch." George had never been to a costume party before. Inside, he saw more people that he knew. They were all wearing costumes. There was his friend, Bessie. Betsy dressed up like an astronaut. And was that Bill? Why, he looked just like a mummy. George wanted to wear a costume too. "I have some dress-up clothes upstairs," said Miss Gray. "Would you like to use them to make a costume, George?" Miss Gray took George to a room with a big trunk filled with clothes. "Borrow anything you like, George," she said. "I have just the thing for your friend downstairs." George tried on lots of costumes. First was too big. The next was too small. Another was just too silly. And this one was too scary. At last, George found a costume that was just right. George was a rodeo cowboy. He wore a vest and pants with the fringes. Fringes mean you have these little things hanging off on the side. He even had a lasso and hat. If only he could see himself in the mirror. He's having a hard time seeing, it's too short. George was curious. Could he see himself if he stood on the bed? No, he needed to jump higher. George bounced on the bed, just a little. Still, he couldn't see. He bounced a little more, a little more. Soon, George was having so much fun, he forgot all about looking in the mirror. He bounced as high as he could until crash! George bounced off the bed. He smashed into the light table and got tangled up in the tablecloth. Suddenly, everything went dark. George heard the people downstairs gasp. What was that? Was that a ghost? So why did everything get dark? He says he had bounced, he smashed into the nightstand, and got all tangled up. Suddenly, everything went dark. That's because he ended up going into It looks like a tablecloth, and he couldn't see. A ghost! George did not want to meet up with a ghost alone. He dashed out of the room, down the hall. He wanted to get back to his friend in a hurry, and he knew the fastest way. He hopped onto the stair rail and sailed, whoosh, down the stairs. Oh, it's a ghost! Someone screamed. Everyone turned. They looked scared, and they were looking at George. The ghost must be right behind him. So they're thinking it's a ghost, but we know who that is, right? George flew off the rail and landed plop into the arms of a farmer. But it wasn't really a farmer. It was his friend, the man in the yellow hat. Soon everyone stopped looking scared and started to laugh. That's not a ghost, that's a cowboy, laughed the policeman. That's not a cowboy, that's a monkey, giggled the princess. That's not just any monkey, said Betsy. It's Curious George. Everyone clapped and cheered. They liked George's Halloween trick. So, they all got scared. They thought it was a ghost, and it ended up being who? Curious George. You gave us a good scare, George, said Miss Gray, and I'm glad to have found some interesting costumes for you. Now, why don't I take your ghost outfit so you can join the party? After the guests bobbed for apples, lit jack-o'-lanterns, and played some party games, prizes for the best costumes were handed out. So they got the bobbing for apples. It looks like they're playing pin the pumpkin. They're trying to get the smiley face in the right spot. And they carved out all the jack-o'-lanterns. There was one prize for Betsy, and one for Bill, and two for George. You were the best ghost and the best cowboy, George, said Mrs. Gray. So why did he get 2 awards? Why did he get 2 prizes? They all got prizes. Why did he get 2 of them? What did they say? Because we know he is what? What's he dressed as? He's dressed as a ghost. So, as a cowboy. So he got the best cowboy outfit. So he got a prize for that. And he got a prize for being a ghost. Because remember, when he fell, the tablecloth covered him up and everybody thought he was a ghost. All right, what did they get for the prizes? It looks like a jack-in-the-box, but the jack-in-the-box, when they open it up, it pops up. And this time, instead of the jacket, it's like a jack-in-the-box, but this one is one that has like little monsters in the jack-in-the-box. Everyone had a good time at the party, especially George. Too soon, it was time to say goodbye. Good night, George. Happy Halloween. George is waving goodbye, along with his friend, the man in the yellow hat. Now, in the beginning of the book, on the front, it did say it had a bonus activity, or actually it had 2. One in the back is telling you about how to make a paper plate mask, and then it has some pictures that you can make copies of this page and this page. And what you can do is use them as finger puppets. So as you're reading this book, you can put those on your fingers, and on each one, like say here, right? He's trying on the clothes. So they got where he's trying on the clothes. You can have your fingers as each one. And we'll flip down the page to where he sees the man in the hat. right? So the other one, pep-up finger, you can stick on your finger, is the man in the yellow hat. But however, he's dressed as a farmer. So when you get this book, you have those two activities in the back. Have an adult help you with both activities. And I hope you all enjoyed this book. If you please do not mind to please click like and subscribe to this YouTube channel and share this YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate that. If you like the hat with some spiders, I've got some eyeballs and bats. I have different colors, and I also have some other things that I do hand make. Please check out those links below. There you will find those. You can message me through Facebook, and that link is below as well. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.